So I'm tearing into Neil Druckmann finally. Finally, I get to do that. And he's made some claims. Made some claims. Naughty Dog says revealing past games too early hurt the studio. Its next game looks set to be announced closer to release to help combat work-life balance issues. Yep, that's what hurt your studio. Yep, the fact that you did crunch all the time to polish up your games, that's what hurt your studio. That's what hurt Uncharted 4. That's what hurt The Last of Us 2. Yep, your crunch, your delays. Yep. Naughty Dog has suggested it will reveal its next game closer to the release date than has been the case for recent titles. Yeah. The Sony-owned studio has previously faced allegations of crunch culture. Crunch culture. Okay, so what's crunch culture? Crunch culture is a very simple thing. Very simple. It is, hey, we're coming down on the deadline. We need to get into action. Work. Two thought processes. One, I actually don't fully mind crunch culture in the sense that, hey, if these are your final touches, this is the big stretch. Let's put all we can to make sure that this is a good game and good property. Other thought process is, why has it taken you so long and why do you need a crunch culture? Haven't you been working on this game this whole time? Like, crunch culture is this idea that I come to that, hey, if you're constantly working on this, your crunch culture should be that final stretch, those final polishes, maybe cleaning up a design here, maybe making sure your code works properly in certain areas. That should be your crunch. Most of the time, their crunch culture is literally, hey, let's throw the CGI in now, and then let's do everything else. Their crunch culture is literally based on laziness. Like, they don't work on it for a long period of time, then they immediately work on it. Plus, their crunch culture is also based upon bad dates, like not fully understanding how long it takes to make a proper game. So they want to rush it out as fast as possible. So then when it comes closer to date, they're nowhere near close and they promise a deadline. So there's multiple aspects to crunch culture that pros and cons. Yeah, it's an issue, but sometimes, it's all about how you handle it. And in the interview with Comic Book, co-president Neil Druckmann said announcing previous games too early had contributed to work-life balance issues at the company. Uncharted 4 was announced in November 2013 and released May 2016. I remember the release date. I got up early and went to GameStop with my buddy Silver. I then watched him play the game. Yeah, it was a game. Well, The Last of Us Part 2 was announced in December 2016 and released in June 2020, following 2 delays, including one designed to let Naughty Dog polish the title while reducing stress on the team. You think that's what caused your game to suck? Yeah. The reducing the stress. Well, obviously you should have done some other stuff because Last of Us 2 was a disaster, and let's be real, it needed a whole overhaul for it to even be anywhere near good. You're right. We did announce Uncharted 4 and The Last of Us Part 2 way in advance, but that actually caused a little bit of work-life balance issues that we've sometimes had at the studio, Druckmann said. By delaying the announcement a bit, we could play with the schedule more, and we're more cautious now about how we're approaching production. I have there's multiple facets to this, because at the same time, I also agree, I want a finished game when it comes out. I have as much as I like Cyberpunk 2077, I didn't buy the game for several years and play the game or look anything into the game because of the issues behind it. Same with Deus Ex Human Resistance. Same with several games. I have issues even with Pokemon Scarlet. The game wasn't completed. Work on your games, announce it, then give it to us. Quit with this half measure. Quit having to do these massive patches or these massive patches for months on end until your game actually works. So there's multiple aspects to this. So there's our The Last of Us multiplayer project, and there's another project that I will not say anything about that's beyond that we're also very much excited for. While Naughty Dog has historically struggled to implement a multi-project development strategy, Druckmann said last June that Last of Us it's hard for me to read this next part because we know it's BS. And we know that none of what he's about to say is true. Druckmann said last June that Last of Us 2's commercial success had enabled the studio to take on multiple projects more than we've ever had at the same time. Besides massive day one sales, besides all these Game Journal awards it won, what success did The Last of Us 2 actually have? Give it a little minute for you guys to say something in the comments before I reply. Okay, I think time's up. Anyways, the success was that it completely killed the franchise. So much so that people are now looking forward to the Last of Us show to clown it. Because we know what you're about to do. You're about to change the entirety of The Last of Us 1 to make Last of Us 2 make more sense. That's how bad The Last of Us 2 was. You copyright struck people for the leaks, for just showing images or talking bad about it because of how bad it was. You copyright struck properly changed material of Big Abby Pump because it was clowning your projects, Neil. Your game was not a commercial success. The reason your games have been failing isn't because crunch culture, even though that does play a part of it. No, it's because your games have been shite. I don't care what your multiple projects, more than we've ever had in the same time, is. I don't care what they are because they don't matter. Naughty Dog is a laughable company now. We laugh at it because of the failures of Neil Druckmann. As well as announcing that Naughty Dog was working on a standalone Last of Us multiplayer project, Druckmann confirmed that he was directing a new game. Last week, the studio shared a second piece of concept art for the Last of Us multiplayer game, which will feature its own story and a new cast of characters, and said that more information on the game will be revealed later this year. So is this game done? Well, this isn't the clip. This actually looks like it's from Uncharted, not Last of Us. But actually, yeah, that is from Uncharted. Now that I look at it, it's Nathan Drake and his brother. So is that game done? Is that game practically done, or are you going to have more issues? What's the point in even saying this if you don't recognize what the actual issues with your games were? It was not just crunch culture and imperfect games. It was shite stories. It was awful stories, Neil. So much so that your HBO series that you're making, we're laughing at. We're pointing out the fact that your show is already set to basically bomb. And I'm going to laugh. I'm going to laugh all the way there. Because Naughty Dog, as it stands now, is nothing more than a joke company. But, hey, that's just me. Let me get your guys' thoughts down in the comments below on all this. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. Share it out with your friends. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell for every time I put out a new video and go live. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.